Always fresh and a little bit sticky. Keep it locked on cannabis.wiki. We're always fresh and a little bit sticky. The green room on cannabis.wiki.
Hey everybody, welcome to Paradise Cannabis in Fort Erie. Hey Crystal.
Hi.
Crystal Chronic is still here holding down the fort.
That's right.
Derek is on the mend. Hey D. He'll catch this in editing. Well, now we are joined with my good friend Katie Pringle, Marigold, and Tether. That's how you would know her. She's here today with Tether, which runs Budtender Week, Budtender Appreciation Week, correct?
Yes, B Week is coming up March 20th to 26th.
March 20th to 26th, B Week. So what is that?
So B Week is a week's worth of activations, essentially showing appreciation for budtenders across country. So we have a few things going on. We've got some in-person tours. LPs are opening their doors for free tours for for budtenders in different spots. We've got some virtual events, and we have an in-person activation at CanExpo.
And CanExpo is?
CanExpo is coming up March 24th to 26th, and on the 26th, there's a budtender and retail gathering. And so that's going to be a really amazing opportunity for budtenders to get to know some brands, get some samples, and get to know the community.
Oh, fun. So, okay, what qualifies a budtender? Can you just say, I like weed, I go to the weed store, or do you have to have your cancel? Like, how do you qualify your budtenders?
You have to have your cancel and be currently employed at a cannabis retailer.
And now are retailers and LPs other than so LPs are doing their tours. That's amazing. I love them. I love when I get invited to that. That's real hands-on fun. That's education, excitement. Are LPs and retailers getting involved in other ways?
Yes. So retailers can participate for free. We actually have a section on our website all about it. So all they need to do is something kind for their budtenders that week. So maybe it's lunch for their team. Maybe it's a treat in the break room. Maybe it's a new coffee maker for the team. But that's all they need to do to participate. And then we help promote all their great work and their love.
Oh my goodness. Paradise Cannabis does tons of stuff for their budtenders and their staff. Like they give all kinds of kind.
I can tell. The vibe in here is awesome.
Oh, so I hope Paradise Cannabis, their budtenders are going to be involved because yeah, they are. I see in the background. I'm going to, we're
I'll be
coming.
there on the Friday.
Amazing.
And hopefully the Saturday too.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
What do the budtenders do? Is it to get to know other budtenders, or is it just to further their education, or what is Budtender Appreciation Week for?
Sure. So another initiative that Tether does every year is a survey with budtenders to actually find out what they want, what they're missing in their roles, and what they want to see from LPs. And so from that information, we craft the week. So they told us they wanted to see aquaponics. So we have Habitat and Stewart Farms doing virtual and in-person tours.
Love it.
They told us that they want an ability to network and engage and move their careers forward. So lots of opportunities to get in front of LPs, especially at the gathering event at CanExpo. And they told us that they want to meet each other. Sometimes they just want to gripe about their jobs. Sometimes they want to talk about their favorite products or compare their gig and kind of see how it's going. And so the virtual events give them an opportunity to engage that way as well.
That's really cool. Now, okay, so that's a week. What do you offer through the year? What do budtenders what does Tether do for budtenders or for the community through the year?
Sure, yeah. So lots of events. We've got some events going on in Calgary and Alberta right now, working with Celio Verde. They're launching Bud LaFleur. We've done events across Ontario. So yeah, lots of opportunities to engage with retailers at the retail level or to engage with the LPs and bring everyone together. We've done some career opportunity sessions, the online virtual sessions, where the Career Foundation came in and talked about some cannabis worker training programs, because that spoke to the fact that 75% of budtenders in our community want an extended career in cannabis. So we're trying to bring all the opportunities.
75%.
75%.
They love it here.
They want to stay.
And LPs are lucky to get budtenders because they're so knowledgeable and passionate.
The real influencers in the space,
I
right?
agree.
They're on the front line. So
Totally.
they're speaking with the consumers. They're also lucky enough to speak with brand representation. So like the retailers, they've got all the knowledge. They know what's going on.
Most of them have like personal experience. They're using a lot of the products.
That's true.
Exactly.
Makes a big difference.
what about that? What do you think about, do they have to buy their own products to use, or what do you know about that? Like if they want to do research, is there educational ones, or is there?
Yeah, so sampling is what budtenders want across Canada, but it's not available everywhere across Canada. It doesn't mean it's not happening, but from a compliant regulatory perspective, for example, in Alberta, you can't sample. So budtenders in Ontario are actually pretty lucky in terms of the opportunity to actually receive samples and get to try the product. That's what they want. They want to try it so that they can talk about it and they can.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And budtenders are jacked. Like they're so excited about the new drops and the stuff that comes in. Like they want to get their hands on it. It's a shame that there's not sort of something educational program or some way to subsidize it, or I don't know. I have budtenders in my family, like young budtenders in the family, and I know how much money they spend just doing research.
Yeah, well, some of the retailers will actually purchase samples for their budtenders as well, which is really expensive for them. So I think the industry is still figuring itself out there, and everyone's really pushing to allow sampling to become an easier process so that they can talk about what they've tried.
For sure.
Yeah,
It's worth the investment.
I agree. Yeah.
So I'm a new budtender. Where do I go? How do I join Tether? How do I start?
Yeah. So you can check us out at Tether Buds. That's across social and our website. They can register to be part of our community. We let our eBlast network know first about cool events and opportunities. And we're always coming out with new events. So whether it's sample drops, whether it's budtender events, whether it's virtual career opportunities, lots of really fun, engaging pieces, and we're really open to feedback. So budtenders, if you have feedback for Tether, we'd love to hear about it. We do have an advisory committee. Les was just in here. He came to say hello, which is so nice. And they tell us what they want. And that's what we want to do. We want to deliver a community that makes a difference and makes budtenders' lives more exciting and better.
When you say they are telling you like they can share what's going on and what are some of the things they're asking for?
Some are asking for increased salaries.
Increased salaries.
That's a
Other
big
than more
one.
education, like you'd said, the more education, which would also increase their salary, I would hope.
Yeah.
And
salaries, benefits. There's a union conversation as well that's happening in this space.
Such a sticky one.
It's a sticky, complicated one. Yeah. You know what else? Like tipping. I think tipping is such an interesting concept. Across the board, we're seeing more tipping, right? You go get a coffee, everyone's asking for a tip. Anywhere with an iPad is asking for a tip. And we heard from some budtenders in Alberta that just putting out a tip jar allowed them to make an extra $50 a day, which is huge.
That's been actually a big conversation lately, tipping, because they're not making enough money for what they do.
And people are grateful for the time they spend.
Yeah, I mean, like it helps them to be able to stay here because they want to turn it into a career, right? It's not and hours, I think, is another big one that I hear a lot too.
Yeah, consistent,
full time.
Yeah,
instead of having to work at multiple.
Do you hear conversations about safety concerns?
Yes. You know what? That conversation has softened just a little bit, but leading into the holiday, it was and last summer too, there were a lot of conversations around that because it is scary, closing up by yourself anywhere. And then unfortunately there were some robberies and things that have happened across Canada. So yeah, safety is definitely up there. We did a session with Dr. Ife. He's a part of the 420 group. He's brilliant. And he did a whole thing on de-escalation, which was really cool, teaching budtenders essentially how to manage some difficult things.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it actually was good for anyone. Like the techniques he
Really
he
cool.
Was, yeah.
I
need some de-escalation classes,
right?
Badly.
I need them for at home. I'm fine at work.
That's what I mean. I need some reaction. I'm very reactionary.
We love that.
Oh, it's like fireworks all the time. We love that about me. Try working with me, Katie. So, okay, we touched on price. We hourly. What do budtenders make? Do they make 15 to 18? Is it more than it? Like, I don't even know. Do they talk about that a lot?
Yeah. So we asked in our survey. It was a wide range. The lowest being 17 is what we saw through our survey. But there were quite a few that were making kind of 25 plus.
Oh, wow.
That being said, in our community, we also have a lot of independent retailers And so the owner, operator, manager is also a bud tender. And so they're playing all of those roles. And I'd say something like that's something that the brands have really liked is we've been able to access the independent retailers, which are hard to get to and fragmented. But some of the most passionate people I have ever met about
They're
the plant.
very well versed in cannabis and very involved in every aspect of it. Is there a cost to Tether to join?
No,
To be part?
No, free for bud tenders. The vast majority of our events are free. The Can Expo event is $25, but you're going to walk away with a whole bunch of samples from some really great brands. So we do like to keep it as accessible. Yes, come. We do like to keep it as accessible as possible because we want to grow the community and drive the engagement.
Because again, they're the real influencers and they're on the front lines of this industry. When we're talking, we're really just filtering stuff we've heard from the bud tenders, right? Like I know I do a certain post or thing, a write-up I have to do. I go to the bud tenders first. I talk to them about what are people asking for? What do they say? How can we help? What do you need more of? And education and pay, safety. Is that the
and samples.
Samples.
They want to recommend products they believe in, like everyone in their roles. And the other thing I'd say for any LPs listening, they want to know your brand story. They want a reason to believe in you. Like bring your grower out, get them a chance to engage with the bud tenders. Tether offers opportunities like that, but you can be doing that as well. Some of the craft brands have been doing that. They've been doing store visits, bringing their grower, and the bud tenders love it because they've got really sophisticated questions and the grower has really sophisticated answers.
So more LPs and more retailers should reach out to Tether to get involved in this because this is the playground for the bud tenders. We need, you want to connect with them. We want bud tenders are also huge consumers of cannabis, if not the largest community of cannabis consumers for sure, right?
For sure, yeah. And we try to work with diverse brands like Shatterizer, who we all know and
They're
love. We, Val and Matt, hey.
Shout out.
They're joining us for a virtual sesh. And, it's a nice opportunity to have this conversation with, 100 to 200 bud tenders at a time. And then we do breakout rooms where it's, 5 to 8 bud tenders at a time that they can gripe if they want to. They can talk about their favorite products. They can ask the growers who are visiting the rooms questions. And so it gives them a chance to explore more about their careers and what they want, and also arm them a little bit if they want to go back and make some requests from their store management.
Do you find the managers or higher up, do they get involved in Tether? Do they?
Yeah. Totally. Especially at the independent level.
At the independent level.
They're doing it all.
That's
they're
really,
wearing
that's
many
really
hats.
good. That's really good to hear that they are involved. When it was first legalization and my personal, like my boys were bud tenders and my stepdaughter, I was really nervous about safety concerns. I was also really I didn't like what they were getting paid. On top of, I was so nervous about the safety concerns and stuff. And they were looking for a community. So they did like online chat groups, or they would go live with other friends and they would do like Zoom things and stuff.
Fun.
And that was before Tether. So like Tether was needed. Like they want to come together.
They naturally want to connect.
Yeah, they naturally want to connect. Like and I don't actually think it's griping that much. Like I really I know a ton of bud tenders that absolutely love what they do. Like love.
Yeah.
Like they come to me with all good. Other than they would like to be able to speak more. They would like to be able to say, this is crap. You don't need that. This would be the best choice, and this is and wouldn't it be smart for retailers to pay more attention and be as involved as they can with the bud tenders, because they are selling your products. They are like, some of these things aren't so, like there's a rosin press. Some of these things need demonstration. They need more, like if the bud tenders don't know about it or don't understand it, or
they can't explain
how
it.
are they selling that? How are they, like that volcano, I guess it sells itself because everyone knows what a volcano is. But the bud tenders need knowledge. They need more education. They need more support.
Exposure.
Well, and something else that came out of our survey, both we've done it for 2 years in a row now. Bud tenders are kind of traditionalists. They love flower. They love pre-rolls. They like to smoke their bong. They do use a vape, but it's more for convenience. It's not their top. It's not top of the list. So what do you do when you're a topical? What do you do when you're, diamonds or certain kinds of extracts. Like, what are you doing to
get in front of the
bridge
bud
that
tender?
gap?
Yeah, to educate the bud tenders, get in front of the bud tenders. That's really great question there. What are they doing? Listen here, topicals and drinks and creams
Drinks,
and
yeah, the
yeah.
drinks.
Like, Okay, so when is this again? When is B week?
B week, March 20th to 26th. Tetherbuds.com or on socials where you can find us, and it's free for bud tenders. It's free for anyone to be a part of, really, but we're really looking to get all the bud tenders out and engaged and help us move everything forward. So thanks so much.
And CanX is where
Can Expo.
Can Expo.
Yeah.
And that's in Toronto.
Yep.
Yeah, Enna Care Center, March 24th to 26th, with the Bud Tender Retail Gathering on the Sunday.
And wait a second though, Katie. Are you going to be there?
I'm going to be there.
And are you in these groups and these when they do online stuff? Is it with you or?
I'm part of it. Yeah, I try to listen more than I talk. But we also involve our advocacy group and our advisory committee. And of course, reach out to us if you'd like to be a part of any of that. Like, there's always room for more. We're really trying to grow an inclusive community. So open to ideas and suggestions.
So second year for Tether, but Marigold's been around for a long time.
Since 2016.
Wow.
So, yeah, it feels like absolutely forever ago.
Pre-COVID, everything is like a
Absolutely.
lifetime ago.
Totally.
Thank you for joining us on the Green Room, Katie. Always a pleasure. You're welcome back anytime.
It was great
And thanks
seeing
for
you
making
again.
the trek to Paradise Cannabis in Fort Erie.
Yeah, a great store. Thanks for having me.
It's been really, really fun. Thanks
Yeah.
for chatting.
We're always fresh and a little bit sticky. The Green Room on Cannabis Wiki.